Zeus Caraval from ZK Research here, and I'm on site at the Worldwide Technology Stand inside the World of Solutions at Cisco Live 2023 in Las Vegas. And I'm joined by two Worldwide Tech executives here. Amanda Sturgeon, it says here you are the CX executive for customer experience at WWT. What is that job?
Yes. So within our customer experience practice, these are going to be our customers that are buying their large-scale enterprise agreements, software programs within Worldwide. My team is there to support them from the very initiation of their software agreement through the entire life cycle to make sure that they're supported, they understand every step of the process, make sure that they have really the right support that they need from Worldwide.
That is a big scope.
Big.
Yeah. And Rachel Gore, it says here you're in charge of GEMS.
Yes, Army GEMS.
Yeah, and explain what that is. Some people may not be familiar with that.
Yeah, so we take what Amanda does and we perfect it for our customer. So I run Army GEMS. Worldwide has a GEMS program for the Navy and for the Army. I run it for the Army, and I just make sure that the customer understands exactly what what they bought and how they're going to adopt it.
And by perfect, that's not assuming that what she does isn't perfect, but it's really customized for the Army.
It's customized, yeah. It's giving the customer exactly what they need when they need it.
So we are going to talk, you mentioned this, EAs, Enterprise Agreements, right? Can you explain what those are and why they're important for customers?
Absolutely. So enterprise agreement, very large scale technology purchase. It can be a single technology. If we're talking in our Cisco world, a single architecture. It can be multi-architecture as well. So as many technologies as a customer may need. But this is going to be a recurring contract that they're going to have. So multi-year term, 3 to 5 years. And it's going to be an enterprise-wide, so truly across their entire organization.
So it's bringing the subscription element to infrastructure.
Yes.
And EAs have been very popular in the world of software, but it's a relatively new trend in hardware, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And so I know Cisco, like all OEMs, tend to have their own enterprise agreements or EAs. How does what you do overlap with them, replace, work with, things like that? So what's the relationship between say a Cisco EA and a Worldwide Tech?
Yeah, absolutely. So Worldwide takes a lot of our cues from Cisco. We're there obviously to support our customers, but we also want to support our partners. So Cisco is a customer to us as well in this really strong partnership that we have. So just like the Cisco racetrack is going to take a customer throughout their entire life cycle, Worldwide has our own EA Plus methodology where we're actually going to align and make sure that we're complementary for what the customer needs, as well as ensuring that we're complementary to Cisco, that we're leaning into each other's strengths to make sure that we're really providing a holistic experience for the customer.
So I'm bringing more alphabet soup into it here. So you mentioned EAs, your title is CX in it, right? And I know the EA program for Cisco does tend to live under the CX umbrella. In fact, if you go somewhere else on the show floor, you'll actually see the Cisco CX stand, right? So what's the overlap like there? Since Cisco has its own CX group in the world of solutions, how is your approach to CX different than theirs?
Yeah, so within our CX practice, we actually are going to be involved pre-signature. So even when we start thinking, I have a customer and they might need an enterprise agreement, just that tiny inkling of a thought, we have software advisors who are going to step in and support the Worldwide team, as well as the Cisco team, to make sure that the customer really understands every aspect of that technology purchase. And then as soon as that deal is booked, we actually are going to ensure that they're supported. From day one, they have that experience where they understand their onboarding, they understand everything that they've purchased, all of the nuts and bolts of an enterprise agreement. They're going to have that experience and they're prepared to actually implement. And we're not just selling them shelfware, we're going to make sure that they are prepared. What we have learned is that those at the signing table in an enterprise agreement, not always those that are actually tasked with implementing, deploying, utilizing. So we need to make sure that we're educating them appropriately. And then once they have their feet beneath them within an EA, we're not done. Then we also need to step in and assign a customer success manager, a customer experience executive, whatever it might be, as Rachel said, tailored to what a customer needs. So we're going to really fine-tune that to their experience and make sure that we support them throughout every step of the way. And that's one of, I think, the biggest differentiators that Worldwide brings versus others in the field where we might be selling them something and kind of providing them a few steps along the way. We are actually with them throughout the entire life cycle, making sure we're there every single day for them.
Yeah, I guess a good way to think about it is just like you bring value-added services to the implementation of Cisco equipment, you can actually now bring value-added services to the enterprise agreements and all the delivery of the whole life cycle, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's continuous, right? That's continuous. So with an enterprise agreement with software, you're extending that support, right, that adoption, because as the technology improves, that customer's also getting that. So we're there all along that way with them. They're not learning something by themselves.
And that's been a big change in the industry itself, is more focus on software, which drives faster upgrades. And what other benefits do customers get by having that decoupling of hardware and software?
So their tech refresh, right? The Army was doing tech refreshes every 3 to 5 years, right? And that procurement cycle all on its own is not sustainable for them. Now we're looking at 7 years, right, of a tech refresh. It's extending that hardware. It's giving them more life. It's allowing them to plan better, palm better, right, for future funding, right? And so it's phenomenal for them. It's phenomenal for us. We really get to know them. And when we get to know them and we get to understand what their mission is, what their requirements are, we're able to tailor that, right? And that's what I mean by perfect that for them. We are giving them exactly what they need when they need it.
So double click on that. So you're taking what Amanda's put together and you're tailoring it for the Army.
That's right.
So explain what's going on with the Army today with their modernization efforts and what GEMS is and how you're leveraging the EA and CX program to really customize what they want.
Yeah, so let me give you an example. So the Army is engaging right now in UNO, Unified Network Operations, and they are consolidating the tactical network, right, with the strategic network.
And this has been something they've been planning for a long time.
Yes, for a very long time, right? We are helping them. We are giving them what we say is the possibility, right? We're telling them Cisco's already implemented in your networks on both sides, tactical and on the strategic, right, on the enterprise side. And we're able to say through our enterprise agreement, through our DNA EA, you can take an unlimited amount of those licenses because they have an EA that's unlimited. And so it's really great, right? And then they have the support of the CX team, and not just from worldwide, but from Cisco too. And when I go into the Army, there is no who is Cisco, who is worldwide. We come in as a whole holistic team, and then that's what really Amanda's team, where you come in to be very complementary to Cisco.
Yeah, and then one thing I wanted to ask you is, whenever I talk to WWT, we always bring up the Advanced Technology Center because that
absolutely.
is actually how you showcase a lot of the capabilities. How does the ATC fit into the EA agreement?
It fits every step of the way. Even, as I said, we're involved in a pre-signature capacity. If this is a net new technology for a customer, let's get your hands on this. This is not just an idea of an enterprise agreement. Let's actually show the customer, how would this interact in your environment? Let's get your engineers hands on. Let's spin up labs. Let's look at a sandbox. Let's spin up and see exactly how this is going to look and feel for you as an engineer, for you as your end users, and really understand the investment that's being made. So as early as kind of the idea of an enterprise agreement, of a WWT investment. But then as soon as this deal is booked, as Rachel can very well attest to, Army, for example, we get customers in there. We want to make sure that now that they've purchased this, do they understand how to use this? As she said, we're never going to leave a customer alone. We're educating them. We're helping them drive that adoption hand in hand with them. So the ATC is really there to make sure that they can really experience the technology. It's not, again, not just shelfware that we're selling them. Yeah. There is truly something that they can consume, they can interact with. It's continuous education as well.
Yeah, and I've actually been to the ATC in St. Louis. It's hard to describe without seeing it, but there's I think the best way to say is there's literally one of everything there.
Yeah, you leave in a euphoric state, right? Because you're like, okay, what can't they do?
Yes.
It's amazing.
So can you give me an example of what Amanda talked about?
Yeah,
of how the Army
every single day, an Army customer goes to wwt.com. Because we have the Army Digital Modernization community.
And so that's important to note. The ATC doesn't have to be accessed physically. You can actually access it online.
That's correct. Yeah. So wwt.com, right? You go there. You could literally search for our community page, Army Digital Modernization. It pulls up our community page, and that tells them everything that they need to know, from contracting documents to capabilities and functionalities of their different enterprise agreements, what they can get. Every single day, we have customers that go there. We are, I believe, at 500 community members. Those community members, they have access to our labs. They have access to an abundance of resources to tell them exactly how to get the most out of their entitlements. It's great.
And I'll make sure I include that link to the modernization page and also the labs in the YouTube description. And the program that you've put in place for the Army to customize the program, is that something that you then can replicate to other companies?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, we have taken so many lessons learned, and now we can scale that. And we, like again, tailor anywhere from, little touch to, something where it's like a service, right? And that's what we've learned with GEMS. We've scaled it from, minimal touch, onboarding certain commands to now full blown out deployments, right? Engineers around the world. So it's wonderful, and we can do this, very well with Cisco. Like I said, we are one team.
Yeah, well, that sounds exciting. So we are here at Cisco Live, as I mentioned, and so I'm assuming most people watching this are Cisco customers. If they want to leverage the WWT and the EAs, how should they get started? What should the next steps be?
WWT.com. That's where you're going to find anything and everything you need.
Find us?
Yes, you can find us within our customer experience practice. We are going to have all of our solutions going on our website. So reach out. We are more than happy and very excited to get engaged, talk through how we can help support, build a community page, develop the next tailored program. If it's the next GEMS or whatever the need is going to be,
that's right.
We're there to support.
Yeah, don't be shy. Come see us.
Yes,
we want to talk to you
love
guys.
it.
And I think it's becoming increasingly important. I know this year's Cisco Live, there is just a cornucopia of new product announcements. And the tech industry is moving faster than ever before.
It is.
And so I think from the customers I've talked to, it's getting harder and harder for them to keep up with the pace of change, trying to do things themselves. And so if they can leverage a company like yourself, it seems like that's their shortcut to getting technology, but also reducing risk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And saving money.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's a big thing for me. Every day it's how can we do more faster with less money?
Yeah, the more with less.
So we're doing that with enterprise agreements.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's certainly the credo of most companies today. So, okay, on behalf of Rachel Gore, Amanda Sturgeon, I'm ZKast, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on another video.